Good afternoon, it's immigration attorney Christian Zeller. It is Wednesday, February 17th, 2021, and I'm reporting from my home office. This is an update on the national interest exception for travelers from the Schengen area, the United Kingdom, and Ireland, which was updated by our Department of State on February 10th, 2021. As many of you know, certain business travelers, investors, treaty traders, academics, students, journalists may qualify for national interest exceptions under the last presidential proclamation covering travelers from the Schengen area, the UK, and Ireland. Now, qualified travelers who are applying for or have a valid visa or ESTA authorization may travel to the US despite the presidential proclamation under the following circumstances. First, students. Students traveling from the Schengen area, the UK and Ireland with a valid F1 and an M1 do not need to contact an embassy or consulate to seek individual national interest exceptions. They are already exempt. So students seeking to apply for a new F1 visa or a new M1 visa should, of course, contact their nearest embassy or consulate, and those applications who are found to be otherwise qualified for an F1 and an M1 will then be automatically considered for a national interest exception. Now, business travelers such as executives, installers, trainers, investors, academics, J1 students, journalists, treaty traders, who already have a valid visa in the appropriate class or an ESTA authorization that was issued prior to the proclamation's effective date, or who are seeking to apply for a visa and believe that they come within the purview of the national interest exception, should also contact the nearest US embassy or consulate before traveling. And then, if the national interest exception is approved, they may travel on either the valid visa or the ESTA authorization as is appropriate. Now, of course, our Department of State continues to grant national interest exceptions for all qualified travelers seeking to enter the US for purposes of related to humanitarian travel, public health responses, and national security. Now, you know, the alternative, of course, is that you remain outside the UK or Ireland or the Schengen area for at least 14 days before entering the United States. Then, of course, you do not need a national interest exception. Make sure, though, to check our CDC webpage first to see what countries would qualify and whether, as a national of the UK, Ireland, and the Schengen areas, you can actually travel to. Regardless, however, every traveler wanting to enter the United States must have a negative COVID test that is not older than 72 hours, or the traveler must prove that he or she already had contracted COVID and that he or she has fully recovered from the COVID virus. Now, it's interesting how our Department of State concludes its announcement on its webpage. It says, granting national interest exceptions for this travel to the United States from the Schengen area, UK and Ireland will assist with the economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic and bolster key components of our transatlantic relationship. We appreciate the transparency and concerted efforts of our European partners and allies to combat this pandemic and welcome the EU's reciprocal action to allow key categories of essential travel to continue. That's quite interesting. I think, in my personal opinion, this refers to Europe's draconian travel restrictions within the Schengen area, the UK and Ireland, basically shutting down and locking out US travelers. And the US appears to be looking for travel reciprocity for its citizens in these transatlantic travels, and is thus more liberally granting national interest exceptions. So there you have it. This is your latest update for travel to and from Europe, and I shall keep you posted. Good day.